What we're going to do on this video today is do a very rapid demonstration of how headlight lens restoration works. This is a classic 2004 Saab convertible, very nice car. Due to its age, however, and the UV rays here in Colorado, you can see the breakdown of the protective finish on these headlights. We zoom in here, you can even start to see some of the blistering that's starting to occur on the protective surface. And of course the UV rays here anywhere over time begin to break down the coating that is built into these at manufacture, and oxidation begins to occur. You start to see that breakdown occurring, and the lens becomes cloudy, yellowed, almost like a varnish coating sometimes on top of the lens. And the only way to eliminate that is to restore it completely with a multi-phase sanding process. What I've done is I've double masked off all of the lights. It's not necessary to remove these lenses to complete this process, but it is important to go ahead and mask this off. So I'm going to be using this dual action, very small dual action sander with small sanding discs to remove the oxidation in that process. And what we do is we'll start out with these, since this finish is on here starting to buckle off because of the oxidation. We're going to start out with a disc, a 500 grit sanding disc, and then we're going to move on to an 800 sanding disc, 1500, 2000, and then 3000 wet sanding disc. All of it completed in a process to remove all this oxidation and remove all of this damage that is on the lenses. And then at that point we will polish the lens and buff those out, and then apply a protective coating on there. There's only about 2 manufacturers of protective coating that will actually reapply the factory protectant onto the lens, so that this does not occur again for many years down the line. That is the most important phase once you've completed all of this work to maintain these lights for the longevity of the car. Okay, what we had to do is change up things a little bit here. Instead of starting with a 500 grit, the oxidation layer on these lenses was built up so thick that actually I had to start out with 320 grit. Most critical phase is this first sanding step to make sure that all the oxidation is removed. So this is after 320 grit. Lenses are going to look a little cloudy here because of the roughened surface. This is the most time-consuming step, is the very first one, and then basically we'll refine it as we go up in grit. The clarity of these lenses will continue to get better and better and better, and we'll briefly show that through the steps. Okay, this is after the 320 grit and then 500. So this is after the 500 grit, and we have it's pretty even and uniform. Leave the other one. Okay, this is after the 800 grit, and as you can see, the clarity of the lenses will become even more and more clear as we progress up in the steps. Okay, this is after the 1500 and the 2000. As you can see, the surface is becoming more and more refined and clear. Okay, this is after the 3000 grit wet sand, and we almost have total clarity. Last step will be to polish and protect. Okay, this is after the polishing phase, and as you can see, these have cleaned up very, very nicely. Nice and clear. Basically, doing this from the state that they were in, I would say, has improved the light output on this particular vehicle by anywhere from 3 to 4 times. And where you really know, and when you really know, I should say, what this has accomplished is if you are driving around with a car that has these severely oxidized lenses on it and you do this, it's amazing what happens at night. And this is the main reason why I think at Dent and Ding Surgeon we believe this is the most important thing you can probably do if you have severely oxidized headlights, is to get these restored for driver safety. The last video that was produced by Dent and Ding Surgeon as far as headlight lens restoration, there wasn't any demonstration on how the protectant works, and this is a protectant that is designed to basically add the factory protection back onto those lenses, and it's a two-step process. There's a formulation that's the protectant, and then there's a catalyst hardener that restores that protection back on there that the manufacturer put into the lenses in the first place. This is the most important step, other than that first step in removing all the oxidation off of the lens covers. But I wanted to kind of demonstrate what this is. This particular company, Delta Kits, produces this formulation, and to my knowledge there's only one other manufacturer of a protectant that does this kind of thing. The do-it-yourself kits, the wipe-on applications and those types of things that you can buy down at the auto parts stores, they do not have a protectant that goes back on. So basically, once you get done doing all the work and removing all the oxidation, making the lens look really good, they become cloudy again fairly rapidly thereafter. So this is a very, very important step. So this formulation here is mixed in a 4-to-1 application, and I'm going to go ahead and mix it and just kind of show you briefly what we do to protect the lenses. So we have protectant all mixed up in the 4-to-1 formulation, and just use a shop towel to apply the solution. And basically just take very even strokes all the way across the headlight. Making sure that we've got adequate solution applied to protect this lens for the long term. In fact, we've got good coverage. So the protectant is one of the most crucial steps of the whole entire process, because without it, a lot of companies that are doing this are just polishing the lens, and that doesn't provide any protection for long-term oxidation exposure. And without this step, within a matter of a few months, they will begin to oxidize and cloud over again. The wipe-on applications, all they do is provide a little bit of clarity of the oxidation layer, but they do nothing to remove it. This concludes video number 2, Headlight Restoration, Dent and Ding Surgeon, LLC.